Thank you for riding for the MTA. Milepost 47.2, no defects. Repeat, no defects. Out. On track 1. Please wait for the doors to open before departing. Close the door, please. Thank you for riding on the MTA. Locomotive maintenance, give us a call about the leader. Locomotive knows. Thank you. On track 1. Please wait for the doors to open before departing. Thank you for riding on the MTA. Dispatcher, we're ready to take a signal at the diamond. Over. No defects. Out.
Well, good evening, all, and welcome to Cab Crew Wednesday. This is your host, Tom, here. And let's see how everyone is tonight, and hope you can hear me okay. Todd Armstrong, welcome. Glad you're here. Jim Tedesco's here. Welcome, Jim. How you doing? Dwight Curley's here. How you doing, Dwight? We got Stormy Sky Rail Productions here. Steve's here. Welcome, Steve. I know you only got a short time here, but thanks for stopping in. And we got John from Schuylkill Valley River. Hey, John, welcome. And then we got Ronald Renew. Hey, Ron, how you doing? Glad to see you in here. And we got JD. Hey, JD, how you doing? Glad to see you make it in here tonight. And I think that's it. Oh, and Floyd Robbins popped in. Hey, Floyd, welcome. How you doing, Floyd? Glad to see you in here. Oh, and Mike from Deep Run Railroad. Hey, Mike, welcome. How you doing? Glad you can make it. Well, I'm feeling about 90% finally. Last week on the show, I wasn't feeling that well. It was hard to talk and everything, but made it through it. And still lingering on a little bit, but I'm about 90% now. And I started working on some things today, finally. Been this resting most of the time since last Wednesday. And I bought some Mucinex, the not the cough one, but the one for nasal and stuff. And that seems to be working a lot better. Just makes your nose run a lot when you take them. You know, I take them one every 12 hours, so that's not too bad. So I'm continuing to take them. I've taken them for 2 days now. This will be my third day, starting tonight at 9 o'clock, every 12 hours. So at least let's see, anybody else pop in? I think Tom's camera froze. It was on your end. Yeah, there you go. You see me waving my hand, right? No freezing on this end. So, yeah, the commies haven't taken over the state yet. Give them time. So anyway, I've been hanging out doing odds and ends, and I started working on a couple of things that I wanted to get straightened out. Like the week before, I was running the trains and testing some things and ran into a couple minor problems. And the video of that smallest switcher that I put out, had a hard time pushing the car up the track. And then I looked at them, and for some reason, I elevated all those tracks, the service tracks, off of the turntable. And then I figured out why when I was messing around up there today. It's because when you lay the track on top of the table, there's a lip that goes around it. And then you have a piece, the two rails are laying on top of that. Well, that was not laying down on top when I had the track. So what I had to do was I had a real thin screw that fit between the rails, and it was a flathead, and I screwed that into the track, and it's long enough to goes through the inch foam and catches the plywood so it stays in place. So I put that in there, and then it drew it down onto that lip that goes around the turntable. So I relocated the one track. I'll show you that in a second. I also added another service track, a short one for that small engine, to park it there and leave it there in case I need it for something else. So those then required the wiring to be redone, and I had to create a new piece of service track because I used that super glue, which really worked well. The ballast never moved after you put that on. You use the Mod Podge mix, and it still is loose in some spots. For some reason, the Mod Podge doesn't cover every little itty bit, but the super glue, that worked really well. But to get that off was a little bit of a challenge, but I got it. I was able to take a little thing in there and pry it up. And the track was no good after that anyway. So I made a new piece. And in doing so, I found a new way to hook up the bumper lights to the service tracks. What I was doing before, the lights would go, I drill a hole through the layout, drop the wire down and run it and connect it to the track feeders. That's how I would get power for the lights. And then the toggle switch on and off would turn the light on or off based on if there was power or not. So I said, why am I doing that? So what I did was this one here, I assembled it all down below. I put the bumper on it. I put the light on, and I only made a short little wire, and I soldered the wire to the two rails. Now, when that rail gets power, then the light comes on. So I tested that all on the workbench, and it all worked. I soldered feeder wires on it, ran new feeder wires through new holes and stuff like that. So at least it came. And if we I bring this up, I'm trying to get the okay. Remove that. Add stage. There we go. Okay. So if we go on to this view here, make that bigger. Right here where all this pink, brown, and green is, that's where the service track was before. It was on that angle. So I moved it to here where it is now. And we go down here. This will show you this real quick. This here track is the lead-in track from the rest of the layout. That's how you get into the turntable. Why in the world I never put a track on both sides aligned with this is beyond me. So I said, I'm going to do this time. So now that little engine there, that's a 44 tonner. I use that to test the track all the time. And I ran that. It runs from here all the way through and up. And if I bring that back up to there, oh, too far. And let's do this one more. And then it goes all the way up to there. Now, I had the wires all jumped and everything before and hooking them up. And I haven't tested it to make sure the polarity and all that stuff is correct. So that's the next test once I get this other service track in, which is to the right here. The alligator clips here are holding the two feeder wires. I got to solder them on. This track used to hold all the extra wheels, and there was a container car sitting there. And I decided, since that's already glued in place, hey, John Benicki, welcome. Since it's all glued in place, I decided to use that for that small switcher. So that's what that track's going to be. I got a bumper to put in there, and I got to solder the wires on and stuff like that. So that's another day's project. So, and then I just printed another blue service track sign, and I need to put one there to label it with number. It's going to be S36, and the one for this track is S29 here, and that's laying there. I just have to put it in place. And if you look here a little bit, the power transmission tower was right here. It was right in the way of the track. So I had to pull it out, cut the wires off, and I got to relocate it. And then I'll rerun the wires and stuff. But I'll do that after the track is solidified and everything is working. So a little bit of reworking to get that track in its place. So I'm hoping now, you can't see it from this camera view because it's looking at it at a different angle. But these service tracks here have a piece of ballast. Underneath the ballast is the road bed. That's the rubber road bed that I get from Woodland Scenics. And then on top, the road bed sits on top of another piece, and that makes it higher at the back end where the bumper is. So this here one is laying flat right on the foam. So I'm hoping I can get that little switcher to push it into this siding. Even the sidings on the roundhouse, I had an open one there. It wouldn't push it in there either. It was just too much of a incline. So, and if not, I could always run the car in from back further and get enough momentum, and it'll roll right onto the bridge and right over into that. But I'm hoping I don't have to go that far. So we'll see how that comes out. So that's what I've been working on. It took me most of the day, and with this cold, it's really weird. If I stand up, I feel fine. When I sit down or lay down, that's when my nose goes, gets weird. So that's why I say I'm about 90%, almost there, but not quite. So that's the project I'm working on. I got the wires all hooked up for this one just before the show started. This one here, I got to solder the 2 feeders on it, and this one here, 2 feeders on it. Then it'll be ready to go because all the wires are connected to everything. I had to put a toggle switch in for this service track and stuff like that. So that's what's going on up there. Once I get that figured out, then I can move on to doing some other things. And it just took a little while to relocate them and get it aligned and stuff like that. So, and there, I can't reach that spot. I could reach it when it's there, but I couldn't reach it to work on it. So I had to use my creeper and move it in from the front side. And then I was able to get up higher on the creeper. And then I was able to reach over and reach those areas back there. So it's that's where the creeper comes in handy. So so the other thing I was telling you guys about when I was getting the trains running, I was testing some of the turnouts and stuff, and I found out I had a short. And The short is there's a turnout here, right here, and there's a turnout right there. And then there's track that goes, and that's how the layout on the bottom part of the screen gets to the layout on the top of the screen. And then they can go and turn out and go up to the helix and go up and go into other levels and stuff. So I had a short here. As soon as the engine came in here, and it was isolated right at the diversion track to the straight piece. And as soon as it hit the other side, it shorted out. So this here track hasn't been tested in a long, long, long time. Now, when I had that NCE problem, I put it all back together. This here track is another way for this layout to get to this layout. So there's a turnout here, right here, and then that takes you around and around, and it comes up, goes over the bridge, and then it goes down and around, and it goes down to, I can move it around and show you, but there's another turnout that it connects to this here layout here. And I always test that one, and I never bother testing the littler one. And when I tested that one after that NCE problem I had with the command station not having power, this here had a short in it also. So I got an NCE AR10. I put it in there, and then now that works. It was a polarity problem, and the same thing here. It's a polarity problem because it's the set going from there to here. So for all I know, all I may have had to do was go down there and flip the two wires around. But I didn't want to mess with it because there's other conditions here that I didn't want to screw up. So I said, I just get an AR10 and put it in place, and that fixed the problem for this way over. Now I got an AR10 in, it came in today, got this from Train World, very simple device. You got this connect. Let me make myself bigger here for real quick. Oops, wrong thing. I gotta do this one. This here connector comes from your booster. Okay. Since all my main lines have an EB1 on them, I can't hook this up to the DCC bus line. You could if you didn't have an EB1 on the other end. So this has its own circuit breaker in it. And right there, these red dip switches are the settings, and I have it set for my 4 amps. I don't want it to go over 4 amps. It's 4 amps, it's going to trip it. So, and then this here connector, 2 wires go to your track that has the problem that needs to be flipped. So this came in today, but I didn't have a lot of time today to mess around because I took well, this here also in that section there. Let me go back to that view. In this section here, I'm making a new block. Okay, so I'm waiting for a BD20 to show up. Once the BD20 comes, and I can add that to the wire. But I can at least test the polarity and stuff, and then add the BD20 in later. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I ordered a BD20. It's coming from Atlanta, Georgia. It'll be here Saturday. So I'm hopefully going to go to a train show on Saturday in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and we'll see what happens. Then I can finish up getting that all finished and stuff. So, yeah, the BD20 is on its way, and I already ran the wires from the Power Pro system terminal block. I just screw 2 wires. It's a bus line, and I run that over, and that plugs into that blue connector there. And then the other 2, I have the feeders on that piece of track here, and they're underneath there. And then I connect them to the AR10, and then I'll know if it's flipped or not. So we'll see. The light should come on, and you got short, normal, and reverse. Hopefully the short doesn't come on. So it should just flip between normal and reverse. So that's, the wires are there. I just have to trim them back and make them a little shorter. I use long enough wires. And then I got to mount this under the, I mount this underneath the layout. I have these white standoffs, and I put a screw through there and screw it up to the on the plywood, and then I made a label for it. I call AR10, and then what block it is, and so it's its own separate bus line. It's its own separate setup and everything. So I ran those wires just to get prepared for this to show up, and it came from Train World. I don't know if I'm going to order anything from Train World anymore because it's in New York City, and with all the garbage that's going on in that city right now, I don't know if you can trust to buy anything from it there anymore. So maybe a lot of businesses will close. Who knows? So so I couldn't do much today because I took Barbara to the dentist today. She had to have a couple teeth pulled. She's getting her teeth fixed and stuff. And it was like over an hour and a half in the dental office. Then we went to get her prescription filled, but the place was closed, so we just dropped them off. She got to pick them up tomorrow. Her whole side of her face was numbed up. She could hardly talk. And okay, Steve, thanks for stopping in. Have a good night. We'll catch you later. Appreciate you stopping by. So she says still in a lot of pain. So I told her to put ice on it and stuff like that. So we'll see how it is in a couple of days. So today I posted a short, and it was on the Timonium group that I 3D printed. And thanks, JD. And I put it up there before I left for going to take Barbara to the dentist. In 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes, I looked on my app, the YouTube Studio app, and I had over 400 and some views on that. Yeah, thanks, JD. And I couldn't believe it. And then it went up to 483 or something like that. Then I looked at it again, and then it went down to 460. So YouTube's taking views away from you. So I come home, I look at it, and now there's over 1,400 views on it. So it's weird. I don't even know if that's true or not. So, but it said 1,400. Yeah, probably JD, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. But I don't know why they would take away views. If I'm looking at my app and it says 500 views, and then I look at the app again and it says 450 views, where did those 50 views go? You can't unview the view. You click on it. Yeah, that's probably right, JD. A lot of mine do too. Yeah, that's right, Jim. I don't, it's probably the analytics don't know what it probably whoever wrote the codes in those analytics don't know what they're doing. Probably that's what I think it is. But anyway, so I said, eh, you know, that's the weirdest thing. Now, if I go on my phone right now and if I look at, yeah, okay, it was at 14K. Now it's down to 13K. So how do you lose a K worth of views? Now I understand the subscribers go up and down. Like I was at 565, then I was down to 562. Now I'm up to 564. Who knows what they're doing? Are they adding them back after they remove them from you because they see you're putting out good content? I don't know why, but it's really strange how that bounces around all a lot. Yeah, it was at 1.4K, so that's 1,400 views. Now it's at 1.3K, that's 1,300 views. How did I lose 100 views in less than an hour? Doesn't make sense. So they don't know what they're doing up there. So the other day, last time we were talking, I told you I wanted to print, or it was on, I don't know, maybe it was Jim's show or something. I don't remember. Talking about 3D printing track. And I found some files for Code 100 Rails, but not for Code 83 yet. But what I did find for Code 83 was something very interesting. I'm going to make myself bigger again. I'm going to show you this. Maybe I'll do the straight piece first. Okay. I 3D printed this part. And you take a piece of track, slip it in there, take the other piece of track, slip it in there, and they line up perfectly. And you now have a gap. So you don't need insulator joiners. And this is about the thickness of roadbed. So you just cut a little piece of roadbed out and lay this in place. Or if they also gave you another little file here, and this slips into the track too, and you can use this to level it off. So it's level like that. They have the straight ones, and they got the ones for the curve track. See that? So that was pretty interesting. So I 3D printed them the other day. Figured I'd make them brown so they match the color of the track as best I could. Yeah, it is. So if you're going to plan on putting in insulator track, you don't need to buy insulator joiners. You can just put these in and it'll connect your track together. And if you put road bed in, it'll line up and stay nice and flat. So it's pretty good. That I'm glad I found those files. So if anybody needs any, you don't have a printer, let me know. Anybody wants to print their own, let me know. I'll send you the files, and you can print your own. But it makes it a lot easier. So since I'm big here, I might as well talk about. I was going to talk about the next thing last, but I'll talk about it now. I've been working on this sound card, and it uses an NCE. I'm not NCE, a Soundtrax sound card decoder. And I bought the box car with it already installed. All I had to do was add the keep alive in it, because with the sound cards you should have a keep alive in it. And so the wheels came and they look like this, and I hate these kind of wheels. And the other wheel is off the truck, and then it has a little bushing that goes in the hole, and then you put the screw in and you screw that in, and it locks it all in place. Well, that car wasn't making any sound, so I took it apart and I checked the two wires that were on those two trucks. They had wires coming out of them, right? I was only getting not even a 1 volt of power. Supposed to have 14 volts. A minimum to run any decoder is 12 volts. If you don't have 12 volts power, your decoder won't function. So you need 12 volt minimum. So I didn't even have 1 volt. I'm going, okay. So I then said, I'll get rid of those things, those wheels, and I'll put my own wheels on. And I contacted my buddy. He makes the trucks or the wheels with a brass tube on it. And then you can solder a wire onto the brass tube. And then as the wheel goes around and around and around, it gives you power. Well, I hooked that up, and I had 14 volts. So I connected it to the sound card. I read it through Decoder Pro, and it read a CV, but then the next one, it didn't read. It said 301 error, can't find engine. So I unsoldered the two wires from the trucks off of the decoder, and I hooked the decoder directly to the track with a pair of alligator clips, and I was able to read the decoder. So the decoder is good. It's something going on with the wheels and stuff. So the brass tube is one side has a plastic washer or something on it, and the other side, this hits the wheel. Now, if I push the tube to the side where it hits the wheel, and I hold it there, and I do it to the other wheel and hold it there, then I get 14 volts. So I was thinking maybe I should solder the brass tube to that wheel, but the wheel has to spin and the tube needs to spin. So that'll make that wire get caught maybe. So I talked to the guy today, and he's going to do some testing. He said he ran into some problems. He wasn't sure, so he's going to test it tonight, and he'll let me know tomorrow. So in my impatient waiting, I started looking up trucks with wheels on it that had a wire on it. So Midwest, welcome Carolina Foothills. How you doing today? That's okay. You're never late to the party. Never late. So I was looking around for trucks with 33 trucks, not 36 or not any other, 33 trucks with a wire on it. I found some, and yeah, it's Dave, right, from Carolina. Hi, Dave. I started a file. Hey, Gerald, welcome. Thanks for stopping in, guys. And so I Midwest Model Railroading had the trucks, so I ordered a pair. They were shipped out today. I don't know when they're going to be here, and hopefully the guy gets back to me with a solution so I can get this car back on the train and playing the clickety clack down the track sounds and other things. So so that's where that sits. Even if I put pressure on the wheel or on the truck, the plastic piece in the truck, if I put pressure on that, then I get 14 volts. I had them, Jim, and what happens with the wipers, they have a tendency to cause short outs. And that's why I don't use wipers anymore. I used to use them in my cabooses. The cabooses I have are lighted, and I only have a couple of cabooses on my trains. All the rest of them have Fred cars. But in the trains that don't have a Fred car, they have a caboose, and it's lighted. So that's with a brass tube wheel, and I think it's something to do with the axles that he's doing now are not coming out the way they're supposed to. So we'll find out when he calls me tomorrow and see what happens with that. So it's just been something I've been working on. I thought I had it. I put it all back together, and then doesn't read the decoder anymore. See, I use Decoder Pro, and behind me is a power cab. setup here, and it has the USB interface connected. And then on my computer, I have that port set up, and Decoder Pro comes up, and I can read CVs from engines. So when I'm watching live streams or videos or something, I could have an engine here and work on it instead of doing it on that workbench over there where I don't have access to a monitor. So the laptop that I use for Decoder Pro on the workbench is a small screen laptop. I've had it for years. I think it has Windows 10 on it. It's the only Windows 10 machine I have. Everything else is Windows 11 now. And I think it only has 8 gig of memory. Well, I'll have to look at my circuit, Jim, inside the caboose, and I'll let you know what I have in here. I know you have to run it a little bit, and then the light comes on finally. And I think I have a capacitor in there that keeps the light on. But I forget. I don't remember what the circuit looks like. I have to open up one of the cabooses to look at it. So. Yeah, that's right, Dave. The capacitor in it. Yeah, Current Keeper would too, but there's really not much to it. You have the 2 wires coming up from each truck, one from each side, and the wheels are flipped, right? Because you have a positive and negative side. You don't want to have both on the same side, or you get a short, right? So you have to be opposite. And then once you get that wire in there, you can just solder with a resistor on a LED, and now you have a lighted caboose. You don't need no circuitry or anything. But I put a capacitor, and I don't know if I used a buckboard or I don't remember what it was, but I'll have to look at. I'll let you know. So that's what I've been working on. That's what I've been working on, trying to get this thing back together. So I even took it off. I just had the wheels on the track there, and it doesn't make sense how you don't get the right voltage and stuff like that. So, and maybe it's a wire, but then sometimes it gives you 14 volts, and the other time it doesn't. So it's nuts how that works. So I don't know, but that's this the way it's going. So really didn't have much time to to do much of anything on the 3D printing side this week. So just didn't feel like doing anything. But some of them I got done, and I'm planning on shipping them out in the next day or so to the people that I have done them for. I got a couple of shipments to do. Tammy and Ray. I got Ray all done for her. I got a painted one for her. I got one for Ray Brovell. His is all painted for him. And I got to send something back to NCE. I got NCE EB1 here. Okay. And right here is supposed to be a setup button. It's missing. all the other ones I have setup button. So I can't set this up. I can't assign it an address. I can't assign it to do the push button reset. So they talk. I said to them, "Hey, can you send me a push button?" And he said, "No, send it back to us, and we'll solder it on and make sure it all works for you." So I said, "Okay, I'll ship it up to them. Let them fix it for me." So that's another thing I got to ship out, stuff like that. So uh, yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll start printing up more people. I just got one from Mr. Gerald of him in a Santa suit. So I'll make them for you, Gerald, and I'll have I don't know how many you want, Gerald, but from the photos, um, if Barbara's feeling better, I'll have her paint them for you, and you'll have what the photos look like. That's what I do. That's how I put them all up there on the layout. I don't know if I can show you guys. No, this is. I hit the wrong button. See, I don't know if I can zoom in. See, they're clear. It's clear there, but if I zoom in, it's going to get blurry. But you got the group here. That's the Timonium group. And then you got, hey, Alfonso, welcome. Do I have a section of HO track? I recently got some tie strip 3D printed for G-scale. Well, I have HO track. All I have is HO track. I don't have any other kind of track. The track that I can, the ties that I can print is what you call it, code 100. But I use code 83. I only have one piece the end tux. If you could send me a picture of what you want, Alfonso, you got my email address, and then I'll see if I can recreate it for you, and I can make an STL file for you. Then you could make it to whatever size you want. Yeah, so that's the whole group up there, and it's hard to see. Let me see if I can zoom in. It's probably gonna make it blurry. Yeah, see, it's making it blurry. Takes a while to focus in. If I focus out, see, it makes it blurry. I got 3 settings on this camera. I can focus in, focus out. I got zoom, and I can shrink. I wonder if I enlarge it. That's as far as I can go. It's in enlarging it. So it doesn't show up that well. So But that's what I did with all the people. I keep adding them. Hey, Dave, welcome. Glad you can make it. Steve was here earlier, but he had to do some things. So he just got back from Dessler. Still waiting for Trackside Mike to send me the group photo from Dessler. I wanted to make a 3D print of that group. Okay, Floyd, thanks for stopping in. Have a good night. Yeah, I'm not going to stay on much longer. Usually an hour is enough. So, yeah, so that's what I've been doing with all the guys I get. It's going to be a big meet and greet group up there eventually. So, and then JD, I got to send you some some of you too. How many do you want? Just let me know because I can print them all. And if you want them painted, just let us know. It'll take a little longer to do that, but or if you want to paint them, all I do is take the photo. Just like Jim sent me Crooked Dave's STL file. Jim, that file wouldn't even fit on my slicer. It was so huge. So I had to reduce it down to HO scale. And then there was an error in the file too, Jim. I fixed that. So if you go to print it, let me know. I could resend you the fixed file and the or the resized file that's fixed too. So because anytime anybody sends me an STL file or I download an STL file, oh, you found out today? Hey, Russ, welcome. How you doing, Russ? Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, 21 millimeters. That's about right, Dave. Um, like I'm 23 millimeters. DB Tech Dave is 25 or 26 millimeters tall. So yeah, it was a good. I saw the videos. You guys had a lot of fun out there. Looks like. So yeah, I'm going to Allentown. I think John from Schuylkill Valley River will be there. DB Tech Dave's going to be there. I don't know who else might be there, but all of us. Okay, the whole group. How about you separately? You want yourself you separately too, JD? What I'll do is I have you separately and I have you in the group. You know, we were all in the group photo. So I'm a set of all of us. Okay. So you want one of the whole group, and then I can make you X amount of this you individually. I have myself populated all around the layout. So I'm working at one place. I'm at a house. Talking at the one house, I'm talking to a girl who's in a bikini laying on the deck there. So a couple of you, okay, all right. I'll print a batch out for you, JD. Then I'll have Miss Barbara paint them up for you. What we did for her, we bought. I have the Yakusun glasses. They magnify in many different ways. No, she doesn't see it. She doesn't care about that. It's just it's a 3D printed image. We don't have those kind of issues, John. So anyway, um, I got to make some bigger ones. She wants to make Christmas ornaments. She gave me a picture of her son and grandson together, and I created an STL file for that. And I want to make it bigger so she can make it a Christmas ornament. So she's gonna put it on a tree. So I think that would be pretty cool. So yeah, so there's a lot of things. Um, let me see here. What's this? Oh, there's Santa too. Very good, Gerald. Yeah, Gerald, they're very nice, cleanly taken photos. It'll be very easy to make them. Yeah. So, Jim, you got my email with your file in it, right? Oh, that's okay, Russ. On my layout, I have a house that has a deck on top of the roof with a picnic table and an umbrella, and then there's a lounge there. And I had 3D printed a bunch of women, and some of them were laying down. So Barbara painted them in like bikini way, and that's who all the swimmers are up on my campsite scene. And you guys seen that video? If you haven't, well, you can go look at it. But she painted them all with the bikinis on and everything. And one of them there, I put on the lounge there, and I was already standing there looking out. So it's like me talking to the girl in the bikini. So pretty funny. But yeah, so that's what that's all about. You need a nude lake. No, we were talking about that, Barbara and I, but okay, Alfonso, thanks. I'll look into that. So it's uh, you have my new email address, Alfonso, right? Because I had changed mine recently. I don't remember if I was dealing with you making those things for your G scale before with my new email address or old email address. My new email address is in my channel. Instead of the at me.com, it's at gmail.com. Everything else is the same. So if you send it at the me.com one, I can go on there and look, but send it to the gmail.com one and I'll get it for sure. I got another email in here. Let me see. Okay. No, that was something else. Okay, no problem there. Yeah, I'll go on and look after the show to make sure that I get that straightened out. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. So anybody else out there wants to send me photos, just let me know, and I'll be glad to make an STL file for you. I can print them for you, or if you have your own printer and can't make STL files, I can send you the STL file after I'm done. So, and it's all free of charge. So, not to worry about anything. Other people make HO scale people, but they charge you money for them. And I don't feel like ordering people from China they paint them and everything, but they're not really good quality paint jobs on the people. So it's a mini pictures from Gerald Stewart. I sent 3 pictures as you I would love to get one of each. Okay, sounds good, Gerald. No problem. I'll set the file up and print them. And HO scale, no problem, Gerald. Um, I only made one larger scale. That was for DB Tech Dave. Yeah, they're not very good, are they, Russ? No. I got a bunch of them. And I just use them to put them at the train stations. They're okay for that. But yeah, like I'm saying, DB Tech Dave, he has HO scale and O scale Lionel trains. So I had sent him 2 different prints of himself in 2 different sizes that time when I was doing it for him. So have you seen any dual gauge railroad? No, no, I haven't. No dual gauge. Nope. Yeah, iPad takes good pictures. Yeah. It's hard to do it yourself because you can't get the whole U in there. I thought G and O were pretty close to the same anyway. Or is it S and one of them is the same size? I forget which one. Yeah, HO and 30 combo track. There's enough problems with HO with code 83 and code 100, but at least you have transition tracks or transition rail joiners. That's what I use, transition joiners. And all they are is a joiner bent a little bit. And O scale is 148, and G is a variant from 132 all the way up to 120.3. Yeah. Well, um, the 10-second timer on the camera. Okay, I see what you did. Yeah, I printed myself a tripod thing for my camera, but it's just as easy to have somebody else take a picture of you. Because you try to do it like this, you never get it all. Now, I went back on my OneDrive. I have a lot of disk space on there, and I have hundreds of photos. So I went back to my family, found my kids' photos, and I made STL files of them. So I have my kids on the layout too. So I have one picture. Yeah, code 870, right? Um, code 83 is good enough for me. Hey, Willow Creek, welcome. How you doing tonight? It's Bradley's here. Welcome, Brad. So, What was I going to talk about? The things. Yeah. So yeah, some good dual gauge. I'm happy with one gauge. I'm happy with HO scale. Sometimes it's a little too small, but that's all I ever used was HO scale, never anything else. And like I say, that I only have two pieces. No, one. Right, the double slip is code 83. That's right, came in code 83 from Pico. And then I got a three-way turnout that's code 100. They don't make a three-way turnout in code 83. So I had a condition where I needed a three-way switch. And so I got the 100 three-way, and then I just used transition joiners on all the ends to the code 83 track, and it works well. No derailments or anything like that. So it works pretty good there. So that's right. Yeah, HO is small. That's right, Alfonso. It's small, but it's better than N scale, T scale, Z scale, or whatever the hell else there's out there. Those are real tiny. I was thinking of putting an N scale on my coffee table in my living room, but that's down the road a bit. I want to get this layout done before I tackle another scale or another um, layout stuff. So, but that's what's coming down the road. That way, when I'm in the living room, I can watch a train run while I'm watching TV or something. So, it's never done. Yeah, right. Well, I'm getting close. But then again, Dave, all I do is look for new details to put on the layout. What I mean by being done is my track is done and the trains run. I'll never be done with details because I always come up with something else. Like I have, I 3D printed manhole covers and drainage ditches grates. So I just have to put them on a layout. I got them all in silver, so I'm just going to put some of those on the roads somewhere. I just have to glue them in place, and so that's another detail. So always going to have details. I have to glue them in place because I like to vacuum my roads with my small vacuum and clean them. I move the cars out of the way and then I clean all the roads off from dust and dirt or whatever. So, but that's what I mean, Dave, having the track ready to be run. Well, I got rid of, no, I have some HO brass track. It's in my storage facility in my yard. And, but that's not good for DCC, I don't think. So, and they turn green. I don't like the brass track, but it turns green. So I have turnouts and straights and curves, and I have a little box full of the brass tracks. So I gave all my code 100 track that I had. When I built my first layout, I used code 100. Yeah, nickel silver is the only way to go. That's right, Jim. Steel track. Wow. Yeah, I bet it was. Hard to keep that clean, I bet. Yeah. Well, for bigger track, maybe, yeah. I don't know about HO scale, I don't think so, but bigger track, yes. Yeah, that's a good approach, Russ. See, I do it the other way, and I shouldn't, but the way I do it. Rick Strains. Hey, Rick, welcome. I was going to print the whole group, Rick. Um, I don't know. See, when people are close together, in the group that I printed from Timonium, the people that were standing in the front were not close together enough, and I got individuals of those. But the whole group, when they're close together, the STL file is created. Your arms run into the other guy's arm sometimes. So it would be very difficult to split them all. So if you want an individual of yourself, Rick, you have to send me a photo of yourself. I can do that for you. You're one of them? Yeah, see, I sent an email to Trackside Mike the other day. I haven't heard from him yet. I even said on his Monday show, I said, hey, please send me that photo. And you got to keep on top of him, I guess. He's always working and stuff. And I told him, please, from left to right, let me know who the people were, because some of them are guys I never met before. I don't know them all. And I think some of them were friends of a guy that we know, too. So I wouldn't know who that one person is, too. So, yeah, see, that's the problem with the 3D scanning, Alfonso. Um, you have to stand there for a long time without moving. Now, I got myself scanned, but this guy you stood at a spot and it was 10 seconds. That's it. And he took photos of you all around. Now, what I do, I just take a photo and then I go, yeah, I can do that for you, Rick. Just let me know. Just send me an email with your address so I can mail it to you once I get it here. Now, Rick, do you have that photo? You can send me the photo. If Trackside Mike can't get around to doing it, I need somebody who is at Deskler that has that photo to send it to me so I can make the group. So now I only had to stand for 10 seconds, Alfonso. And then he gave me I did two different poses. I was standing there and then I was pointing like like people are pointing at something. They gave me two images. Other guys that do it don't do that. You get one image, that's it. And you could do whatever you want in there. You can hold a shovel or hold a hammer or whatever, but he lets you do multiple poses. And so he then he sends you the STL file, and you can print them as much as you want. And then he sends you a sample of what he printed for you and painted. So it was, he was pretty good. I don't know if he still does it or not, but I met him at Amherst the first year I was up at Amherst. This will be my third year going to Amherst. Yeah, that's good, Alfonso. And DIY stuff is always better. I don't have the photo either. Okay, I'll see if I can get Dave to send it to me. Amherst. Yeah, Amherst, not Amrest. It's Amherst. Maybe you're hearing the different what's the word I'm looking for? I don't remember. Accent. That's it. That's what's unique about our country. There are many different types of accents around the country. So you might have heard it from somebody from somewhere else saying Amrest, but it's Amherst. If you look it up, the town, it's spelled the way you typed it there, Amherst, but it's not pronounced Amherst. It's Amherst. So at least that's what I was told. And I look at the name of the town, and it's spelled Amherst, not Amrest. Same here, Russ. I have lightheadedness issues, and I can't stand still that long. Maybe. Well, see, Tammy and Ray are from the South, so they might pronounce it differently. So, and she was originally from Massachusetts, so she should know the proper name. She has family that lives up there. But once you transfer down to North and South Carolina, you pick up the accent pretty quick, and then you live there all your life. I don't know how old she was when she moved there, but it's just the accent. That's all you're hearing, Alfonso. But it's Amherst. The people up there say "Welcome to Amherst." They don't say Amrest. Amherst. They pronounce it that way too. Welcome to the Amherst train show. That's from the people that live there. Yeah, that's true, Alfonso. I've been to both places, but it's still English. This dialect and the accent. But it's still English. Tomato, tomato. Right. How about water and water? Right. Or crick and creek. How about soda and pop? Right. Can't go to Boston and ask for a soda. They won't. They won't know what you're talking about. What's that a link to, Stormy? Steve? Yeah, Steve. Is Steve there? Yeah, Steve. Dave was here earlier. Oh, that's a link to the group photo. Great. Let's see if I can copy that. Hmm. Oh, I can't see. Maybe I have to go on YouTube to look at it. Can't do it from StreamYard. I can't copy the link. See, I can display it on the screen, but I can't show the link. Oh well. No, I never been to any of the railroads when I was out in Colorado and New Mexico. Um, I okay, thanks, Dave. Um, when I was in Colorado, I went skiing. I was in Snowmass, Aspen, other areas of skiing in Colorado, and in New Mexico, we had a plant. I worked for a company. We had a plant in Albuquerque. That's the areas I was at when I was out in New Mexico. Post on my chair. Yeah. Uh, okay. Got it. Okay, good. I got the photo. Good. Yeah, you like that, Russ? Yeah, that's the subway system. My girlfriend Barbara painted all those. And thanks to Jim, helped me with the lights. He told me they were too bright, so I dimmed them down a bit. But I haven't had a chance to run the trains through there to get a new video, and that's what I want to get to. Um, yeah, well, what can I tell you? See, and I painted um, the two 47th Street to 50th Street station with the arrow going that way. That's my handiwork on the tunnel top piece. Because I remember seeing that in the subway tunnels when I worked in New York City. Thanks, Gerald. I got it. So now I have the picture. So I'll be able to create that file and print it. So when I do the video again and the lighting looks better, I can compare it to the one video that I have with the new one. Then I'll post that one, and then that'll be my new intro. And maybe I'll do another train run somewhere else with the camera and have that as my exit, or I'll rotate between them or something like that. See how it goes. But currently, I still have the original ones that I did. I saw a couple of mistakes in there, and do a little bit better. I'm still learning video editing. I got a video editing program, and like when I put the one about the smallest switcher that I have out there, a lot of people couldn't read the text because the text was all black and the screen had a sort of a blackish background, so it was hard to read the text. So next time what I'll do is I'll put the text on the screen, then I'll watch the video and see what it looks like. And if you can read it, if I can read it, anybody will be able to read it. So thanks, Russ. Yeah, it's that whole subway system was a long time coming. And like today, I had to take a couple of pieces of panel down because when I put the service tracks, the turntable is above the subway system, and I drilled holes, and the wires came down on top of the tunnel pieces, so I had to take the tunnel out and feed the wires through. So then I put the tunnel pieces back. So that's what's nice about the way I designed the walls and the tunnel tops. It makes it easy to take them out to do some work if you have to. So, and let's just see if Mr. Post Office, where is everything at right now? Ah, look at that. Okay, here's what's funny. The package that came from Atlanta, Georgia, is now in the post office that comes to my house. So that should be here tomorrow. But the app still says expected delivery by Saturday. So are those fools down there going to keep it until Saturday to bring it here? We'll see. Yeah, that's tough when you're not feeling well. And of course, money is always a big issue. Thank God you don't live in New York City. I'm wondering if Heath is going to stay in there. I don't know. But, and I only live 60 miles away from New York City. I feel I'm too close. So where are you located, Russ? Are you in Texas? Yeah, he should get out of that shithole. Yeah, definitely. Well, you live in Oregon. Okay. Funny story, Russ. Back a long time ago, after I got divorced, you get online and you start chatting with these women and stuff, try to make a date or something like that. Met a girl from Oregon, and we got talking and everything. So one day she says, "Oh, I'd like to come and see you." I said, "Sure, you're going to drive all the way from Oregon to here?" And I said, "Well, let's talk a little longer." And then, of course, Yeah, well, not with the goofball that's now governor. More lies. But I don't know if you guys heard, there was bomb scares at over 20 to 30 of the polling state locations yesterday. Bomb scares. None of them fanned out. But what did that do? Did that scare away people from voting? Did that do this? And then what it must do was scare people away from the voting booth so that the illegals could come in and vote. Okay. I had to fill out a provisional ballot. And the polling place that I went to, I handed in the papers that I had. They said, "Oh, you're supposed to do mail-in." And I said, "I'm not doing mail-in. I don't believe in mail-in. I don't think mail-in should be an option." He says, "Oh, don't worry. You can vote here today. That's okay." And I said, "Okay, fine." He says, "All you have to do is fill out this form." I had to fill out a form. And then I went in the booth and made my choices, came out, and I had to bring my ballot back out and give it to that girl. And then she folded it up and put it in an envelope. She says, "You have to stand here and watch me put it in the envelope." But that doesn't mean they didn't mail it out. Or somebody else came along and took those envelopes and threw them away. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, Portland. Russ, I watch JLR investigations on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen that, but yeah, um, Oregon is a beautiful state. I've been there. I know what it's like, but some of the towns or cities in Oregon are definitely a disgrace. And but I see all this stuff because of what is shown. Um, they're going after the attacking the ICE workers and all that stuff. This is America, you know. So um, I'll let Jim do the political stuff. I don't want to get too involved in that. But it's really a disgrace and it's a shame. That's right. They're all going to Idaho. They can't go to Washington because that's just as bad. And you don't want to go any further south because that's even worse. California, no. I feel sorry for people that live in that state too. There's a lot of people with good heads on their shoulders, and then there's a lot of people that don't have a head on their shoulder. That's the problem. But what can you do? All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna put up the outro. I want to thank everybody for stopping in and spending time with me here. I have 5 Great Lakes around me. Yeah, see, that's the whole problem. And thanks, everybody. And I appreciate you all coming tonight. And we'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of your week. And we'll enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good weekend. And we'll catch you all later. Have a good one. Enjoy the train. I get off here. Everybody take care. 11 for 11. That's good, JD. Thank you very much, JD. Perfect score. Right? Um, Dave from Stormy Rails. go on my channel and she can get my email. Go on my channel. Here, I'll put it in the chat for you, brother. There you go, Dave. Good night, Stuart. I just put it in the chat for you, Dave. Good night, Jim. Good night, Russ. Good night, Gerald. Rick, thanks for stopping in. Good night, Russ. Can't wait to get them on with that. And also all the people are really in place where nobody's laying down anymore. That's right. Subway Dragons. Thanks, Russ. A lot of work to get that going. See, now, can you read that black on that screen? I can. Then it proves it red or something. Good night, everyone.